And hello, everybody. Welcome to Hendricks Height College football field here for another exciting semi-pro game between the Arkansas Kings and the Arkansas Kings and the Kansas City Bulldogs. Tristan Harlan here with the notorious Jake Hall. And Jake, what a game we have on tap tonight.
We've got a great game. I don't know about you, but I've had this weird itch. I don't know what it was, and then I finally realized it when I got here. I've been itching for some football, and I've waited so long. You know, football's been done for a few months now. I need it in my life. I need it. I need it more than you know.
Well, we're just about the century mark away from college football returning. Of course, you came in wearing an Arkansas baseball jersey. They're looking to play an in-state foe, the Arkansas State Red Wolves, and War Memorial to kick their season off. But, hey, talking about some semi-pro football tonight, at least for the moment, the Arkansas Kings come into this game undefeated, looking to play the Kansas City Bulldogs. But there's a little bit of controversy to start the game already. The scoreboard's not on.
You know, what do you do without a scoreboard? We sat here talking about it for a minute. I was like, well, maybe the officials can just keep it in their hand and, just keep track of it. Oh, well, no, then they're going to have to be stopping and stopping the clock, not nonstop. You can't do that. Well, what if a coach needs to call a timeout? He doesn't even know how much time is on the clock. They've got to figure out the scoreboard issue before we even get this thing started for sure.
Right, a little bit of a disclaimer before this game kicks off. I do want to say, per Coach Ray Williams from the Kansas City Bulldogs, some of the players are wearing different jerseys. That is what is on our roster sheet. So if there's any people out there for some of these players that are watching, if we get the wrong name or the wrong jersey, we do sincerely apologize early ahead of time, but that's what we got per Coach Ray Williams. And it does look like the Kings are going to receive the ball to start. Of course, we're going to take a little bit of a breather before this game gets kicked underway to see if the scoreboard delays us by any minute. We'll be right back. You're watching Kings versus Bulldogs on the Natural State Sports Network. And kickoff here as it's going to sail near the 5-yard line, going to be returnable. And here comes that diamond formation that Coach Bowie was telling me about ahead of this game, and going to have a little bit of running room around the outside, getting to the sideline. He'll be forced out of bounds for the first drive of the game for the Arkansas Kings. We believe that was returned by, wait for a moment so he can turn his number 7. I want to believe that's, give me a moment and I'll tell you who it is. Orlando Robinson. So the Kings will get the ball first to start. They'll start in their own territory. And, Jake, what are you expecting to see from the Kings on the opening drive?
You know, I want to see them really hit the run game hard. I feel like a good offense always leans on the run game. If you get the run game going, everything else starts working for you. Also, I just want to note, I hope everybody got a good look at that kickoff right there, because I have a feeling that those kickoffs are going to go away here pretty soon. The NFL's already gotten rid of those old school kickoffs. They're going to go away pretty soon.
Well, I'm sure it'll hit the college game before it hits the semi-pro game. But here we go. The first play of tonight's ball game will be a handoff around the right side. He's still on his feet. He'll get brought down. Looks like he only gained about 2, maybe 3 on that one, so it'll be a second down coming up for the Kings.
And I don't know if you I mean, we mentioned the scoreboard, but it looks like we are officially starting the game without a scoreboard. So if we have problems with our with our clock on screen. I'm not really sure what our producer's going to do over there with about the clock situation, but we have no idea how much time is on the clock from here on out unless they get it fixed, in which it doesn't. I think they've given up. Is what it looks like over there.
Second down, they're going to hand it off once again around the left side this time, and that one's going to be a hard tackle by what says on number 11 on my roster, Starshine Palmer.
That was a decent run right there. I mean, hard tackle. That's a great open field tackle. You can't ask for more when you're talking about an open field tackle.
Right, and then looking at some of the starters for the Kings, talking about the quarterback, number 9, C.J. James. He's 32 for 46 with 900 yards this season and 14 passing touchdowns with only 3 interceptions to his name. So you're kind of expecting the pass here early, but on third down, anything can happen.
Third down, anything can happen. You might see a draw right here, but I'm expecting a pass. I mean, it really just depends on how much they trust this quarterback to chuck the ball down the field.
Going to drop back, looks, pressure coming. He's going to roll out, has nowhere to go. He's still on his feet. He's evading pressure, but he finally falls down for what looks to be a loss of a country mile, and fourth down is going to come up for the undefeated Kings.
Just nowhere to get that football to, and he had to scramble around until finally he's brought down in the backfield. Unfortunate for the Kings, but they're going to have to punt this away and try to play the field position game.
Looks like Johnson will be the return man for the Bulldogs, as the first drive for the Kings went to no avail as they went 3 and out, only gained about 10 yards on that drive, but nonetheless, we're going to see what the Bulldogs' offense can do momentarily if the punt is returnable. Of course, again, do want to remind everybody that we not only do not have a scoreboard, but we also may have misplaced jersey numbers from what our roster dictates.
The returner doesn't seem to be too far away from the line of scrimmage. I'm not the best punt in the world.
Well, he tried to get his hand on it, but it'll roll out of bounds, and they'll start in Kings territory here. Of course, again, talking about the Bulldogs, Coach Ray Williams, he was excited for this one. During our pregame chat, he said that this team's going to be a hard-nosed team. They're going to come at them, and they're going to try to play their brand of football. Of course, coming down from Kansas City, they were sure going to play this game by any means necessary.
Absolutely. You can't come all this way just to not play the game. Scoreboard or no scoreboard, football is getting played here today.
So here comes the first drive for the Bulldogs. Snap. They're going to hand it off up the middle. Nowhere to run. I don't believe he got anything on that one. If he did, he only got a yard. Bring up second down for the Bulldogs.
I'm starting to feel like whichever team can get their run game going might be the most successful one here today. Both teams struggling to get anything going so far in the run game from what I've seen from that first play.
Of course, when we were talking to Coach Bowie before this game, talked about the defense, and he said defensively they're based out of a 3-3-5. They could drop into a 4-2-5 or even a traditional 4-3. So we're going to see what happens here, and I believe the Bulldogs are going to have the first penalty of tonight's ball game.
Yeah, that's definitely a false start on the right tackle.
So they're going to move back a couple yards, and we'll replay the down. I just want to thank everybody for tuning into tonight's ball game. Jake Hall here with Tristan Harlan. And man, oh man, semi-pro football, spring football just has a nice ring to it.
It's got a great ring to it. Honestly, football in any sentence has a nice ring to it, in my opinion.
Second down here for the Bulldogs. They're going to hand it off. Nowhere to go. He's going to get stuffed before he even reaches the line of scrimmage. Third down coming up for Kansas City.
Talk about a defensive ball game. So far here today, I mean, We haven't seen any offense. It's just been all defense.
Referee made a call. They're playing the Stone Cold theme song out there. As a wrestling fan that I am, I love to hear it.
Same here.
Let's go with third down. Quarterback's the low man on the backfield. He's going to not even drop back. He's just going to take it, step up in the pocket, keep it himself. He's still on his feet, but he'll get wrapped up, and that'll bring up a fourth down. Looked like the quarterback was confused there.
He had basically no time in that pocket. As soon as the ball was snapped, he immediately had to move up in the pocket. All sorts of Kings were all around him, so unfortunate for him. He probably should have just took off with it as soon as the pocket collapsed, but he stood back there, and that results in a fourth down.
2 drives, 2 threes and outs. One for the Bulldogs, and the first drive, of course, of the game was a 3-and-out for the Kings. Fourth down, and it looks like they're going to go for it. 1 man in the backfield, 3 receivers out right, 2 to the left. Quarterback's going to drop back, pressure coming. He's going to throw it, and that one's going to be caught for the moment, and they're going to signal incomplete. Turnover on downs.
So, if I'm not mistaken, this is they play it as you have to have 2 feet in bounds when you make the catch. If I'm not mistaken, from what I've heard, it's NFL rules, and that's the NFL rule. That looked like it was a completed catch to me. It's hard to see from we're on the complete opposite side of the field, but I mean that looked like a catch.
Well, from my vantage point, and again, this is just my vantage point. I do have 4 eyes because I have glasses, but he came down with it, and I don't know if he just didn't have control on the way to the ground or if one toe just dragged the sideline just an inch. But regardless, it's going to be a first down for the Kings.
First down for the Kings. I want to see something a little bit different from their offense this time. I mean, it seems like the run is completely bottled up, at least from the first drive. So you're going to have to come out and show something different. You've got to get this defense spread out on their toes, get some guys outside of the box because they're just loading this box up just waiting for you to run it.
For sure. And again, they're still in their own territory for their second drive of the ball game. So we're going to see what they can do. Coach Bowie told me he wants to use their athletes in space, so we're going to see if they can get it here. They're going to hand it off around the left-hand side, still on his feet, but he'll get tackled just shy of the 45-yard line, and he'll have about maybe 5 yards on that play.
Hey, that's a decent pickup. I think they'd be okay with 5 yards every play all day long.
Hey, 5 yards every play, 5 yards in 2 plays will get you a first down.
Absolutely.
So it looks to be about, I'd say, 2nd and 6. Of course, I'm just eyeballing it there. Rough guesstimate. Going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll out. Has the blocks to run, but he'll go out of bounds just past the 50-yard line. Believe he got enough for the first down. So move the chains on down, and the Kings will have a fresh new set of downs.
That was a lot of room, and he took advantage of it. As soon as he saw all that green in front of him, he just pulled that football and took off. And great decision by the quarterback right there, and it got him a first down.
Well, of course, this conversation we were having pregame is like, hey, you've got a quarterback that's a lefty. He's going to try to evade the pocket. He's going to try to be mobile because when you're running left and you're rolling out, it completely throws some defenses off. So good to see here. First 2 set of downs here, just past the 50 at about the 48, maybe 47-yard line. They're going to hand it off to their tailback. He's going to have room up the sideline. He's still going, has room to run before he's forced out of bounds just past the 35-yard line.
This is that situation as a defense. I've been in this situation. You're getting gashed left and right, and you don't really know what's going on. You're starting to look around, looking at coach, like, what do I do? What do I do? And, I mean, you're just getting gashed. It's a tough situation to be in. You've got to Really, you've got to figure out how to hold your gaps and make sure that you can shut down this run game because they are just gashing them right now.
Of course, this is the closest either team has been to the end zone to this point. I mean, this is the second drive of the ball game for the Kings, but it's the closest they've been to the scoring realm. Little pitch play there. He's going to step back up, and he'll be wrapped up by number 55. That's Dominic Scott on the tackle.
I didn't really like the timing on that play. It seemed just a hair slow on the pitch right there, and I think that threw off the timing of the entire play.
One of the players lost his helmet, so he'll have to come out of play. So second down here for the Kings. They're inching closer to the end zone. Of course, they have trips receivers outright. Two are in motion back left. Takes a snap. Pressure coming. He's going to roll right, and he has daylight ahead. He's still on his feet, and he'll get out of bounds. And I believe they're going to mark him down at about the 5-yard line.
In today's game, I don't know if there's anything more dangerous than a mobile quarterback. It's so hard to defend. Like, what can you do? You have the play, the pass routes completely covered up. Guess what? It doesn't matter because the quarterback's going to get 10 yards and get a first down on you. It's so hard to defend.
After the run by James, it'll be 1st and goal for the Kings. We're going to wait for them to line up again. I want to remind everybody that not only do we not have a scoreboard here tonight, but we also may have wrong jersey numbers on our roster from the Kansas City Bulldogs, and I believe a timeout is going to be called on the field. So we're going to take a step away. We'll be right back. Still deadlocked at 0, but the Kings are looking to put the first points on the board of tonight's game. Stick around. And we're back here for 1st and goal. The Kings are looking to put the first point of tonight's ball game on the board. Tristan Harlan here with Jake Hall. Quarterback's going to roll out, and he's just going to be forced out of bounds. A little bit of a extracurricular activity on the sideline as that tackle was made by Jor-El Washington, number 7.
You know, so far here, so far here today, we've seen James make some pretty great decisions, holding on to the football and taking off with it. Right there, there was just nowhere to go, and he gets run out of bounds. I think the defense is starting to catch on to what he's trying to get going in the run game.
So it'll be 2nd down as they move the ball back. I believe a flag was thrown after the play, which will result in lost yardage. They're going to get him for a holding call.
Holding calls can just completely kill a drive. That's the last thing you want to see if you're the head coach of a football team.
Well, last thing if you want to see if you're a head coach of a football team, last thing you want to see if you're an offensive line coach. I mean, you know, I'm not a smaller guy. I grew up playing the offensive and defensive line. The number one thing we were preached on was do not hold the jersey. So after the flag, it'll still be an angle situation as he'll drop back, looks, throws it over the middle, but it won't be caught for an incomplete pass. do believe he looked to throw it to number 23, Don Bone, on the play. So he has 3 receiving touchdowns and 163 receiving yards to his name. Another timeout's going to be called here, and we're going to keep it here because, Jake, I want to ask you, during your days of playing football, I'm sure you grew up playing Madden and college football on the consoles. What are you running in this situation?
Is it third down over there on the marker? It says first. I think it's got to be at least second down. I know we had the penalty and that back, so we it's got to be at least second down, right?
They changed it to 2, so we're going to go with second down.
Okay, so second down. So we're going with second down right here. I think they were expecting the run. They just tried to pass it, throw a short pass over the middle. Maybe a play action, but I think you just kind of stick with the run. You haven't really set your offense in motion just yet. The only thing you've had going so far is James running the football, just scrambling out of the pocket. So I think try to stick with the run, get the run established, and then you can start opening up your playbook with different play action passes and draws and screen passes out to the right. I think that's the way to go with it.
Well, second and goal coming up now from Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University. The Kings look to get into the end zone here as they hand it off around the left side. He's up the sideline, still on his feet. He'll get brought down at about the 15-yard line. They may give him an extra yard at the 14, but nonetheless, third and goal is coming up for the Arkansas Kings.
So forgive me, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but it's I don't. Are you looking at that name? I'm not sure if I can pronounce it right. It's Laharisi, something along those lines. He is tall, man. I'm talking about tall. You can see those legs running from a mile away, and he takes some big old strides when he's coming around the corner. Nice run.
I believe another timeout may have been called. Or maybe they're signaling end of quarter because it looks like they're going to the opposite side of the field. So it'll be the end of the first quarter. We're going to take a step away. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second quarter. Kings versus Bulldogs. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back for the start of the second quarter. Quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to evade the sack. He throws it up, and it almost was intercepted, but the defender dropped it. I believe they're going to say it was an incomplete pass because it looked like he was going forward with the throwing motion.
That was a great attempt by the defensive lineman right there. He stretched out completely trying to get a hold of that one, but there's a reason they play defense. I guess not too many hands on that one.
Well, it seems like every time the Kings have gone to pass it, they've got 3 to 4 orange jerseys in their quarterback's face trying to get the sack down. And if CJ wants to get the ball into the end zone, he's going to have to get it off quicker. But fourth and goal, they're going to go for it here. They're going to send a man in motion from left to right. Try to get the defense to jump off sides. He's going to drop back, steps up into the pocket. He throws it. That one's going to be batted down, incomplete. The man who batted it down was number 23, Elijah Kellier.
Looks like the Kings sideline is asking for a pass interference call right there. I didn't see too much contact from the defender before the ball got there, but so I don't really agree with that. But I will also say I'm just very confused by the throw right there. He wasn't set. He didn't have his feet set right there. You got to get your feet set and make a concise, strong pass. Get it there quickly, and you might have got the ball there before the defender got there.
Well, something we're going to have to keep an eye on throughout the race, the remainder of this game, is how many seconds does James Jr. have in the pocket that he has to throw before the defensive line breaks the pocket. But regardless of that, it'll be 1st and 10 from their own side of the field. The Bulldogs look to get some points on the board with this drive here. Bobbled snap, flags are going to fly. Running the reverse here, he jukes. He'll fall down as believe they're going to either get a false start or offsides call here. Wait the referee signal here.
Might be an illegal motion. I'm not sure if everybody was set when they snapped the ball right there.
They're going to get a false start penalty on the Bulldogs. So they're going to repeat the down. Of course, Coach Bowie's getting together with his offensive line down there on the sideline, just telling them, hey, guys, let's settle in, let's calm down, and, hey, let's play our brand of football.
Both teams are struggling from an offensive line standpoint. Neither quarterback has had any kind of time to stand back there and assess the field, so that might be a big key to this game.
It'll be about a 1st and 15 after the penalty. Quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to throw a deep pass, and that one's going to be incomplete, intended for William Gowan. And it almost was intercepted there as the quarterback just slightly overthrew him. But it was incomplete, so 2nd down coming up for the Bulldogs.
I'm not really sure. I don't think he overthrew his receiver right there. I think his receiver stopped on the route, and then and then the quarterback was trying to get him into open space by throwing it over his head, and the receiver's trying to backpedal to get to the ball, and unfortunately he couldn't backpedal fast enough to get to it. It was thrown way over his head.
2nd down coming up for the Bulldogs. Snap. They're going to fake the pass, hand it off. He has room to run. Believe he may have just gotten 5 on that one, bringing up a 3rd and 10. Be Jashawn Ellis on the carry.
Looks like it's going to be about actually 3rd and 8, which kind of makes it a little bit more manageable. I mean, better than 3rd and 10, I guess.
I do want to say every down and distance is just a guesstimate by my eyes, going based off where the chains are. So another 3rd down coming up for the Bulldogs on this play here. The Kings held them last time. Going to hand it off up the middle, and he's going to be swarmed by a bunch of Kings defenders, and he'll actually be taken back. They didn't stop the play. They let it continue, so 4th down is going to come up. And forward progress, we're going to see where they're going to mark it.
I think they're lucky they didn't get called for a false start right there.
So another 4th down. 2 drives, 2 3-and-outs for the Bulldogs. And here comes that diamond formation that Coach Bowie likes to run. And, I asked him about it as he brought it up, and he said the diamond formation for us is on special teams, both punt and kick return. Whichever side the ball is kicked to, we return to the opposite. They create a wall with their 3 deep defenders, as we see here, to level up that kick return, as that was blocked for the moment, and he got it, and touchdown for the Arkansas Kings.
Special teams plays for the win. I'm talking about that's one part of the game that everybody forgets about. Right there, they showed why you should never forget about it. Huge play right there that that definitely just gave them the upper hand in this ball game.
believe number 52, Courtney Simmons, was the one who got the block in. I was talking about the diamond formation just there, talking about the 3 deep, but we forgot about the big boys up front. They got through the punt coverage. They got through the blocks. They got the block, prime positioning for the block to get the 6 on the board.
Just a very athletic move right there to get back there and block that punt. That's one of the more exciting plays, I think, in this sport. If you can get a block punt for a touchdown, I've seen it numerous times over my years of watching football, and it's very exciting every time you see it.
Don't believe there's going to be kickers in today's game because it looks like they're going to go for a 1-point try. Quarterback's going to keep it himself around the right, and he will have enough to get in. So we're going to say it's 7-0, barring some verification.
Yeah, that looks like it's good. I mean, James has got some speed, man. What can you do? I mean, James tucks that ball in. There's nobody that's going to catch him when he's trying to get the edge. He's going to get the edge, and he's going to get to that end zone.
Well, I mean, hey, that's what the game is all about, is trying to find your way to the end zone, because when it doesn't matter, it matters the most. But, hey, you never know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the course of this game. Definitely a different style of game that I'm sure you and I are used to, of course, with the scoreboard being off and just what's concurred to this point in the ball game.
Absolutely. I mean, a little bit different style so far, but hey, we've seen some great athletic plays out there from James, touting the ball all over the field. I've been very impressed with his speed and agility to get away from tacklers and make right decisions. Honestly, his decision making back there in the pocket to hold on to the football has been very impressive to me. I think that's been the standout for the Kings so far.
Of course, this will be the third offensive drive upcoming for the Bulldogs, barring any wild activity happening on the kickoff return. So far in this one, they've had 2 drives, 2 3-and-outs. Of course, the last drive they were on the field, the blocked punt happened.
If you're the Bulldogs head coach, that's the last thing you want to think of. You gotta tell your team, hey, put that in the back of your mind. You guys need next play up. You've got to move on.
That one's going to be fielded by Starshawn Palmer, and he's going to have a hole to run through, and he'll get into enemy territory for the third drive of the game for the Bulldogs. Of course, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Natural State Sports Network for some semi-pro football between the Kings and the Kansas City Bulldogs. Jake Hall here is along with Tristan Harlan here with Jake Hall with you. Get to name flips up there. But, hey, 7-0 ball game. It's exciting football weather. It's great football weather, and it's an exciting football game.
Tristan, I got a question. Have you seen the Bulldogs throw a pass yet today? I can't recall them throwing a pass.
They've run it a couple times. They threw the one pass on this side of the field where he
you're
overthrew.
Right. You're right. I do remember that now. Okay.
The receiver stopped running. He overthrew it. Same difference, different terminology.
Okay, so let me rewind that. I haven't seen a completed pass from the Bulldogs.
There you go.
Today.
That's the one we're waiting on. The completed pass as they hand it off to the tailback that time. He'll only gain probably 3, but I think he fumbled the football, and the Kings are going to have a fumble recovery. He's still on his feet, and he's running. Flag's going to come out, but for the moment, it's going to be touchdown Kings.
It didn't look like I'm guessing it's going to be a block in the back, but I didn't see a block in the back there. What an athlete. Hey, what a play by this Kings defense. Jumping on the ball as soon as it pops out. Just a great play to be aware and see when the ball pops out.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I didn't even see the ball pop out. I thought they were, I thought maybe he was down, then the ball came out, but I guess the ball had popped out before.
No, I didn't see the ball pop out either. All of a sudden, I just saw a whole band of Kings running down the sideline, and I was like, okay, they must have the ball.
Believe the call was confirmed to be a block in the back, so the touchdown will be erased from the scoreboard for the moment. at least from our scoreboard here, because there's nothing on the scoreboard on the field. But regardless, hey, you get the ball back on the fumble recovery. Now you're going with the chance to go up by 2 touchdowns. What a time to be on the Arkansas Kings' roster.
Are these officials from Kansas City?
I'm not sure. So here we go, first down from the opponent's 30-yard line. They're going to hand it off once again up the right side. It has a little bit of room to run. He'll be met by a brick wall by the name of Jorel Washington.
Hey, that's another great open field tackle right there. Anytime you can successfully complete an open field tackle and not let him loose, that's a win in my book.
Gained about 3, so second down's coming up for the Kings. And again, we go back, talked about the passing game for the Kings and I guess the lack of passing game that we haven't seen yet. But, hey, I'm sure throughout the game we're going to probably see a lot more fireworks in this game between both these squads. Hand it off to number 23, but a flag's going to come out. I believe they're going to get called for a hold here. So there's a player down on the field still as he's getting helped up. They're going to call a hold on the Kings, so they're going to move back some yardage.
So that's 2nd and a mile. That's a long ways to go. At this point, I think I wouldn't be aiming for the first down marker, just trying to shorten the distance to the first down marker just so you have a decent chance on 3rd down.
Of course, again, that was Don Bone on the carry. So 2nd down and forever. Draws back, looks, pressure coming. Has no time to throw. He'll have to tuck it and run. Still on his feet, and he's just going to fall down. He looked like he got tripped up as he tried to cut from left to right. So 3rd and about a mile is coming up for the Kings.
That's not a bad decision by James to tuck it and run right there, but what I'd really like to see him do, because there was a long time before he got to that line of scrimmage, if he keep your eyes downfield, get that ball, keep that ball, don't tuck it so early, you can keep running, just keep your eyes downfield. You might see somebody open and you can throw it before you get to that line of scrimmage. You had about 10 yards before you hit that line of scrimmage, but you had it tucked, so there's no way you were going to throw it anyway. So I would just recommend, keep those eyes downfield.
So after the play, again, 3rd and very long coming up for the Kings as they're up a touchdown. Quarterback's going to drop back. He's going to throw it sidearm, and it's just going to go straight out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. 4th down coming up.
I'm not really sure who that pass was going to. It looked like it was going to the official. I'm pretty sure that's who caught it. So that's going to result in the 4th down now. Unfortunate for the Kings. Doesn't look like they're going to try to kick a field goal. Might as well go for it. If you're not going to kick a field goal, this is definitely 4th down territory. Go ahead and go for it.
So 4th down. Again, going to go for it as the Kings. James is going to drop back, throws a deep ball all the way up there, and he just overthrows his receiver. Incomplete pass, turnover on downs, and the Bulldogs will have a chance on offense to right the wrong from their special teams, which was the fumble, which led almost to a touchdown, but the block in the back scraped it off the board, so the Bulldogs will take over here. Pretty shallow territory.
Shallow territory. That's not bad field position for the Bulldogs right here. Starting at about the 35-yard line, that's or 34-yard line. That's not bad field position. They need to take advantage of this and really try to get something going on offense, because last time they were out here, they had a big mishandle of the football, and Kings took advantage.
Let's see what Mark Hernandez, the quarterback for the Bulldogs, can do on this drive here. Of course, he's had a fair game to this point.
Seems like we have a equipment issue.
Equipment issue. I believe some of the staff's going to run out of the field with Coach Bowie just to see what's going on, if there's anything they could do to fix it. And while we have a second, or never mind, the referee's going to start playback. So after the stoppage of play, it'll be first down for the Bulldogs. Hernandez, the lone man of the backfield. Call for the snap. He throws it quickly, and that one's going to be caught by number 37, Hendricks.
Nice job right there on the quick slant. It's so hard to defend a quick slant. Unless you're set up in a zone standing right in front of that slant, that you can't stop it. It definitely cuts right through man to man. So nice decision by the Bulldogs to call a slant pass, and I wouldn't be surprised if they keep leaning on that all the way down the field.
Second and about 3 coming up for the Bulldogs, and of course we talked earlier about the first completion we would see from the Bulldogs, and there it was.
That was it.
Of course, again, just talking about the Bulldogs, I mean, this quarterback, Mark Hernandez, he doesn't take a lot of big steps back. He just, as soon as he grabs the ball, he just quickly throws it. So he's going to stay in the pocket, just dump it over, and that one's going to be intercepted by the Kings off the bounce. And what a play by the defense. That was intercepted by number 52, Courtney Simmons. And Courtney Simmons, partner, is the same guy that got the block punt for the touchdown.
Hey, Courtney Simmons, eyes up. He's just all over the football. I'm talking about, he must be a football magnet. Anytime the football's loose or in the air, he's on top of it. That was a reckless pass by Hernandez. I mean, he was just asking for it to get tipped up in the air, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunate for the Bulldogs, but the Kings are going to take over once again and try to extend this lead.
So 2 turnovers for the Bulldogs. One was a fumble, the other was an interception, but, hey, there's still a lot of time in this one. The Kings will take over, still up 7 for the moment, and we're going to see what Coach Bowie's offense can do on this drive here.
Something tells me I'm going to see a James scramble right here. Substitution infraction.
First time I've seen that in a while.
I can't really recall the last time I saw it, to be honest with you. It's substitution infraction. I guess I can't even. I'm not even sure if I could explain to you exactly what a substitution infraction is. I mean, you didn't allow the defense to sub, I guess. I mean, that's the only thing I can think.
Pressure coming. He's going to throw it off his back foot. That one's going to be intercepted. That one's going to be intercepted by big number 91, Harris McBike.
Hey, we're playing hot potato out there in the middle of the field right now. Both teams can't decide which team they're throwing it to.
It makes for exciting football, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it does.
So after the interception, not the one that happened for the Kings, but the one that just was thrown by C.J. James Jr., if you're just tuning in, it'll be first down from the Kings, I want to say 43-yard line. The Bulldogs will have the football, and this is prime real estate to get your first points on the board.
For sure. So I just want to reference. So he just showed me the substitution fraction. What that actually is more than 11 men on the field. That's so I knew what the penalty was. I've just never heard it references that. I just knew too many men on the field.
Right, right. And this is going to call for the snap. He's going to hand it off. Going to have a little bit of room to run. He's still pumping his feet. It's going to be number 17, Jashawn Ellis on the carry.
Hey, that was a nice carry by Ellis right there. He's kind of short. You can't really see him behind all those big guys right there on the offensive line. He sneaks his way. He's very patient working behind those blockers, and he manages to get 7-8 yards out of it. Nice carry right there by Ellis.
So I got to be a little bit of a football nerd with you for a moment.
Okay.
Which kind of running back do you prefer? Do you prefer a tall, heavier running back, kind of like Derrick Henry style, or do you prefer a short, stocky speed back?
It depends on who's getting me the touchdown.
Good answer. Second down here for the Bulldogs. Hernandez is going to hand it off once again, but he'll have nowhere to go on that one. It's going to be a quick drop-down tackle by number 7 on the defense. That's Orlando Robinson.
Great job by Robinson, just shooting back there in the backfield and shutting that down right from the get-go. Nowhere to go for the Bulldogs.
Be third down here as the referees are going to believe they're going to signal halftime here. Or no, they're going to call a timeout. So timeout on the field, 7-0 our score. We're going to take a step away. We'll be right back after this. 7-0 our score. You're watching the Kings versus the Bulldogs on the Natural State Sports Network. And we're back here after the timeout. Third down for the Bulldogs as they try to get some sort of yardage here. They're going to hand it off once again up the middle. And they're going to, the Bulldogs are saying they have a first down, and we're going to see if the referees agree.
It doesn't look like the side judge agrees with the first down. It looks like they're about half a yard short. I'm just confused. It almost looked like the Kings didn't know the ball was snapped. I didn't see a lot of movement at the line of scrimmage. Everybody just kind of stood up, and all of a sudden Ellis fell forward for 3 yards. Confused on what just happened right there.
Well, I'll tell you what didn't happen. A first down because it's 4th and inches, or at least 4th and 1 for the most part. That's what we're going to say. We're going to say it's 4th and 1. Bulldogs back in a shotgun set. High snap. He's just going to throw a quick little receiver screen. Has room to run. Still on his feet. And sets him down as that'll be enough for the first down. Move those chains, Kansas City.
Hey, somebody got a face full of turf right there. Nice stiff arm by the Bulldogs and results in a first down.
After the play, again, fresh new set of downs as the Bulldogs will finally have some sort of yardage to work with.
This is still a one-score ball game. Bulldogs have a great opportunity right here to tie it up right before halftime. Halftime's coming soon. I assume. I'm not really sure, but I think it's coming. So might want to tie it up, Bulldogs.
Timeout's going to be charged to Kansas City. And we're on the eve of halftime. We'll put it to you that way, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University, home of the Warriors. And, again, just want to put a disclaimer out there coming from Coach Ray Williams. Per the roster we have for Kansas City, some of the names may be wrong due to jersey numbers being switched up on the day of the game. We do sincerely apologize for that. But, hey, we've got some exciting football here from Crafton Faulkner Field.
Hey, if you like football, no matter what level, hey, you're watching some football right now.
A little bit of a personal preference question for you, but which one do you prefer, football in the fall or football in the spring?
I think you got to go with football in the fall just because the NFL is top tier. If you want to see the best product on the field, it's going to be the NFL. That's fall football.
So here we go. First down, according to the chain gang on the sideline.
Unless you're talking about the Jets.
Newark catches a stray. Hernandez is going to drop back. Pressure. He throws it, and he catches it for the moment, but he doesn't go anywhere. Kind of threw the ball behind him. Caught by number 17, Jashawn Ellis.
Right there, I think back on a baseball coach I once had who told me when you're throwing it to somebody, you don't want to rainbow it. You want, dart that thing over there. If he would have darted that football over there, good chance the receiver gets there and he might have been able to get a couple more yards out of it, but results in basically no gain, if not a loss of one right there. So, got to figure out how to get that ball over there out there quicker.
And I believe the Bulldogs called their third and final timeout of the half. They're going to talk things over, and the referees are going to come together. They're going to have a conversation. And Jake, I got to ask you, I asked you this earlier, but in this situation, what are you trying to do, just based off what you've seen so far?
I mean, Ellis has shown that he can get somewhere between 3 to 5 yards a carry from what we've seen so far. If it's second down, just hand that rock off to Ellis. Let him sneak his way for another 4 or 5 yards and make it a third and manageable.
Let's go second down. A drop back, looks, has pressure coming. He's going to evade it for the moment, throws it across body, and it's going to be caught by who else but just Jashawn Ellis, who's still on his feet before he's brought down after gaining, I want to say, about maybe 9, or he may have got enough for the first down. We're going to see what the chain gang signals here.
He's definitely short, but that was a nice play right there. Great job by the quarterback to find Ellis. Nobody was open downfield. Just go ahead and go to your check down. Who else? Ellis to get you a few tough yards and make it a third and manageable.
Do want to correct myself. It looks like it'll be about a third and approximately 4. Pistol set here for the Bulldogs. The defense looks like they're going to be sending a blitz off the left-hand side. All day to throw, and he's going to be wrapped up for the moment. Then he's going to be sacked. Number 4 on the defense was the first one to make contact with him, and that was LaWayne Forrest, the tight end, who was the first one to get back there and make contact with the quarterback. So fourth down's coming up for the Bulldogs.
That looked like it was almost in slow motion. I saw Forrest coming there for about 5 seconds before he actually hit the quarterback. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it ended up being. I thought he was about to. I thought it was about to be a lot worse of a hit. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I thought he evaded it, and then after he broke away from the first contact of Forrest, I thought he evaded it, and then I saw 2 just separate King defenders just collapse, like a Venus flytrap just collapse on him, and then that was when it was pretty sure it was going to be a sack.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to stop play here, so I believe it would have been a timeout from the Kings because if my football knowledge is correct, the Bulldogs are out of timeouts.
I think that was definitely their third.
It looks like we'll get the first field goal attempt of the ball game from Kansas City. And they're going to send at least 2 defenders back there for possible return if the kick doesn't have enough mustard on it. Be Angelo Bio on the kick, and that was going to be blocked. And Kansas City's going to fall on it, but it'll be a turnover on downs. And that's the second block on special teams for the Kings.
You know, there's 3 boxes that you want to check when you're trying to win a ball game. Offense, defense, special teams. So far, Kings have got the special teams box taken over. It's all Kings in the special teams department.
So after the turnover on downs due to the blocked field goal, the Kings will for the most part, get the ball back from the exact same yard mark where James threw the interception.
You know, that was talk about a coincidence, I guess. You know what I mean?
Chance to right the wrong, some may say. He may have been a couple yards up, but he's still in the same facilital area as that one's going to be a handoff. And he's going to have more room to run, but he'll be viciously thrown down out of bounds.
Hey, that was Modica. Great run right there from Modica. Got him 9 yards. I think that's what this offense needed. You got to establish the run. So maybe the Bulldogs are looking for something else other than trying to sack James back there.
And I believe some of the players are asking how much time's left, as the Kings may have called another timeout. Well, they called a timeout, so let's take a step away. You're watching Kings versus Bulldogs on the Natural State Sports Network. And we're back now. Second down. The players are going to return to the field. And as we're approaching halftime, still 7-0 ball game. James is going to fumble the snap. He's going to roll out. Has pressure coming. He's going to stop. He's going to throw. He's going to find an open man. He's going to cut back left. Still on his feet. Trots, rocks, and finally falls down. That's going to be caught by number 2, Kamani Gray.
Hey, James turning on that backyard football instinct right there. Football drop. Guess what? You can still throw it down the field. That's exactly what he did. Great job to hit your receiver downfield after a mishap on the snap.
And that's going to be the final play of the first half. Still our score 7-0. And we're going to go to a halftime break. When we come back, we'll have the second half of football from Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University. Kings versus Bulldogs right here on the Natural State Sports Network. Welcome back to the second half, starting here from Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University. Tristan Harlan here with Jake Hall. We have an 8-0 ball game. I do want to correct myself from the first half. It is 8-0. We heard from our analyst to our left in the coach's box, like I said, to our left. It is 8-0. We're playing 15-minute quarters, so we're going to try our best to keep you guys updated throughout the rest of the second half.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, but we're going to do our best. I do want to welcome on the newest member of Natural State Sports, Kyle Lovelace, coming on for the first time here, making his broadcast debut.
Yeah, guys, I really appreciate you having me on today. Really just wanted to recap on a couple things from the first half. The Kings are doing a great job in cover two. They're running a really tough cover two defense, and that's keeping a lot of the explosive plays out of the inside of the field. And really the only way to beat that I'd like to see out of the Bulldogs is to run some screen offense that can kind of swing those linebackers outside and allow the offense to kind of cut inside and make explosive plays through the middle and just split those safeties. So that's what I'd like to see from the Bulldogs from the second half. And the Kings really they got to keep it up, and it looks like they're doing a great job also to Coach Bowie's point, really wanting to utilize that speed on the offensive side of the ball. And they're doing a great job of that going horizontally. So I think that if they keep that up and they can, take advantage of that outside edge, they have a good chance of taking care of this game.
So that's some great points. I 100% agree. The screens, I think that's I'd like to see some screens out there. I think the key to a good screen, though, is you've got to sell it. Like, you've got to act like you're blocking and really sell on the block, and then, burst out to the right, and then all of a sudden you're wide open for a 20-yard gain. I think that would be a huge play for either one of these teams if they could utilize it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of misdirection from either side of the ball, to be honest with you, and I think that would be a great way to go going forward.
Flag's going to be thrown out here on the first play of the second half. I believe it's going to be a false start on the Bulldogs. So they're going to move back some yardage.
Tristan, do you know that flag that was thrown on the kickoff, was that a late hit on the sideline over there?
I'm not a betting man, but if I was a betting man, I would probably say it was. I mean, that's what the motion the referee made, the white hat made on when he was signaling the call. So I would say yes, but I'm not 1,000% sure.
That was a great return, though. I mean, they're already in what I would consider four-down territory in this ballgame for sure.
So first down after the false start penalty. And that's going to drop back. Looks, throws it deep pass. That one's going to be caught on the sideline. To be caught by, I believe, number 19, Altrick Buchanan.
Yeah, and I love to see that curl route from him. He did a great job splitting the safety and corner right there. And really the scheme is to get under that safety and sit down. And he did a great job sitting on the outside edge right there. So I'd love to see it.
The play will be fresh new set of downs for the Bulldogs as they are down 8-0. Let's see what Kansas City can do in this third quarter to get some points on the board. Shotgun formation, running back to his right. 3 receivers out as well. Draw play here. He's going to run up the middle with a burst of speed. Oh. Spin move. He's still up, but he'll be dropped down just shy of the 14-yard line. Ellis on the carry. Wow.
Did you see what he did when after he handed that ball off? He had his arm up there. I didn't know if that was like they were trying to fake a Statue of Liberty or I didn't know what was going on over there.
They're just trying to keep them on their toes.
Hey, they got them on their toes because that was a huge gain right there. That was like a 25-yard carry. Yeah. Nice job. That was Ellis, correct?
That was Deshaun Ellis, yes, sir.
He's speedy.
Go first down, close to the end zone, in the red zone. Calls for the snap. Whoa. He's going to run right into his quarterback, but Ellis is going to get the handoff once again, and the miscommunication allows the Kings to reset.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like Ellis stumbled right on his first step right there, and it threw off the timing completely of that run. And and that results in a no gain.
Yeah, regardless of the scoreboard situation, it's a close one when you see chirping on the field, and I love to see it.
Yep, absolutely.
So second down after the miscommunication on the run. Of course, down in front of us, looks like C.J. James Jr. is getting some warm-up throws on the sideline to hopefully have a better second half than what he did in the first half. So we'll see how their offense looks when they come out on the field. But here we go. Second down from the red zone for the Bulldogs. Down 8, 3 receivers outright, 1 to the left near top of your screen. Calls for a snap. He'll drop back, looks, throws a back shoulder fade. That one's going to be caught for a touchdown. Wow. That's caught by number 19, Aldrich Buchanan.
What a throw right there by the Bulldogs, just right into the hands.
Yeah, and that really is how you beat cover 2. I mean, because that cornerback is taught to sit down there on the outside flat, and if you can have another receiver downfield working the safety, then that person's going to be open all day long.
You guys talk about it. I mean, you go back and you watch that play. You watch the DB too. I mean, he just stopped and let Buchanan run right by him, which allowed him to kind of position that football right where he wanted it in the air and just get right under it for the 6.
And one thing I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen all game, Tristan or Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but has anyone taken the snap under center?
No, and you will not see that from Arkansas because their coach said, as he was telling me, as I've mentioned previously tonight, that you will never see them go under center. They like to go in the shotgun form, and if they do anything similar to that, they will go in the pistol formation.
Oh, that's a new quarterback in the backfield.
Going to go for the PAT, and he'll do the exact same thing that James Jr. did earlier on. So we have 8-8 our ball game now after the run from, I believe it was number 0, Johnson on the carry.
And that's what pistol will do for you right there. That pistol formation, it creates a lot more mobility for the quarterback, having being further back in the offense.
Of course, 8-8 the score is. We get ready for kickoff. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on the Natural State Sports Network. And welcome back after the touchdown from Kansas City. Our score 8-8. Tristan Harlan here with Jake Hall and our special guest analyst for tonight's broadcast. How are you doing after that touchdown?
I'm doing good. I really like to see the mobility from the quarterback. They've had that pocket passer most of the game, and in that pistol formation, if you have a mobile quarterback, Lamar Jackson will tell you it's dangerous.
That kick going to be returnable. It's fielded at about the 15-yard line, has room to run, breaks away right, jukes left, still on his feet before he's wrapped up and dropped just shy of the 40-yard line. So here comes the Arkansas Kings offense led by C.J. James Jr., who had a little bit of a struggle in the first half as he threw an interception, wasn't able to find any open receivers except for that one play that he rolled out right, found it on a cut, cross, whatever route that was. That was backyard football 101. I couldn't even tell you what kind of play that was.
Well, what I'd like to see from the Bulldogs defense, which this is what they started doing towards the end of the last quarters. They started running some man defense, which can help contain the quarterback. But when you're thinking man, I like to call it dude defense. You got to have dudes to cover dudes. You know what I mean? And their quarterback has a lot of mobility, so they've had trouble containing them. But if they can get that containment, then we're good.
Okay, hand it off here. C.J. James Jr. getting in there, getting dirty for the block.
Yeah, that was the Casey Dick block going down the field right there. I love it.
It's ran by number 5, Rashid Monica, on the play. And, you don't see that a lot from quarterbacks at any level. I mean, normally they hand it off and it's like, okay, you go have fun. But that time he ran with him, got his shoulder down, and provided an extra layer of protection.
That's the type of statement that lets your team know, hey, I'm right here with you guys. And it really gives them a lot of confidence in their quarterback that hey, they're willing to get down in the mud right there with you. So that's a huge statement.
1st and 10 from about the 47. Pitched it to the running back. He has a second layer of defenders to beat, and he'll be wrapped up and dropped down shy of the 40-yard line. I believe that was Tate on the carry. Got about 5. So 2nd and 5 coming up here after the run from Jamario Tate. Send 2 men in motion from the right to the left. Call for the snap. He'll fake the handoff, rolls out, pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, still on his feet, runs back around, and he's finally dropped just right outside the pocket by, I believe, number 37, Hendricks.
Great job of staying with it, keeping your eyes downfield. Great job by the offense to keep blocking down the field as he's scrambling around back there. What felt like an eternity, he finally gets to turn it upfield, and the offense is still blocking for him. Great job.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys noticed the linebackers kind of switching around pre-snap. And it looked like that middle linebacker worked an outside blitz, but when you do an outside blitz, you got to have containment, and he lost it there.
Timeout is going to be called on the field, and it seems like Coach Bowie is kind of yelling at his offensive guys saying, hey, what's going on out there? But I got to ask you both guys, I mean, what are you expecting from this offense on this 3rd down?
Well, Tristan, I'm a Southern guy just like you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They've got so much mobility behind the ball. That quarterback, even if they can develop routes downfield, that's going to flush out those linebackers, and then that opens up the middle of the field for him. So, I mean, I rely on his mobility. They are running some man, a little bit of cover 2, which means you got to send those wide receivers downfield. And if you don't have anything open, you can still rely on his legs. So I think that's what I'm expecting. Try to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible, but you might be able to break one deep.
I want to see a Philly special.
Do want to take a moment to thank everybody for tuning in to the Natural State Sports Network, and want to remind everybody that per Coach Ray Williams for the Kansas City Bulldogs, the roster we have may not be up to date because players have switched jerseys prior to this contest. But here we go, 3rd down. They're going to hand it off left. Room to run. Tries to break away from one, but it'll fall, and that's ran by number 25 on the offense for the moment. I mean, what a run.
He popped up, bouncing up and down. I think he enjoyed the contact right there, and something tells me he's going to get the ball a lot more for the rest of his ball game.
Correction, that was number 23, Don Bone on the carry. I think that's the 3rd time I've got him confused with a 25 that does not exist. Fresh new set of downs after the carry from Bone. They're handed off once again. He'll be met in the hole by number 43, Hector Arobia, the 3rd.
Yeah, up until that play, Tristan, the Bulldogs have done. They've had a tough time on the line of scrimmage, I'll say. The Kings have done a great job controlling the line of scrimmage, and the linebacker made that play, but as a defensive lineman, you got to blow that up before it even opens the hole, But they've thrown in some blitzes in there, which I like to see. So hopefully they can keep that up.
2nd down coming up for the Arkansas Kings. Tie ball game at 8. Approximately about 6 or 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. They're going to hand it off left He's just going to put his shoulder down and run out of bounds. That was number 21, Terrell Lahersey, on the carry. And a flag is going to come out after the play. Dead ball. I believe they're going to get one of the members of the Kings roster for some not so nice words. Some of the crowd in front of us does not like the flag, I'll tell you that.
He might be responsible for it. Who knows?
No, correction. They're going to call the personal foul on the Bulldogs. After that penalty, they'll have more than enough for a fresh new set of downs. So, Chain Gang, come on down. You've been elected to win a brand new car.
This has been the longest and most successful drive so far from the Kings that we've seen all day. They've really done a great job of just keep moving the sticks and just inching their way down the field.
James going to keep it himself. He tries to spin away from one defender. He'll get wrapped up before he can really go anywhere as he gained about a handful on that one. So second down is coming up for the Kings. And, you know, you make a great point, Jake. This has been the longest drive we've seen from either team here tonight. And so far, it seems like they're wearing Kansas City down.
That's what it seems like. That's almost your objective as the offense. The longer you're on the field, the more tired that defense is going to be. And that always spells good things for your team.
So second down, they're deep in the red zone here. Of course, still our score 8-8. Rough guesstimate, about 5 minutes remaining in the third. James is just going to pitch it out to Bone. Bone's going to run. And we're going to see what the referees are going to signal. Touchdown for the Arkansas Kings. Give him 6.
Yeah,
late signal, it doesn't matter. Touchdown's a touchdown.
Yeah, and, you know, Jake, one thing I've noticed is they're having a tough time controlling the option, the QB option. What do you think has contributed to that success on the offensive side?
You know, the option is something that is very hard to defend defensively. Everyone has to know their role. Everyone has to know, hey, I'm on the quarterback. Somebody else has to be on the running back, and you have to trust that somebody on the other side, that one of your teammates is going to do their job. And a lot of times that can break down. It takes a lot of work to really perfect defending the option if you're when you're on defense.
And correction, I believe they did not call that last play a touchdown, but the line judge on the far end,
He did signal touchdown.
he did, okay, because I thought I
initially-
just heard the PA say earlier that it wasn't a touchdown.
I don't think it was, but initially it looked like he signaled.
So now it should be third down, and I see that the person on the sideline is not changing the number.
We're going to see how the offense lines up before we say anything, because I'm telling you, that line judge near the down marker signaled for a touchdown.
If he signaled a touchdown, then they would have gone for 2. Okay, so wait.
Well,
And
now
there's a
the
flag on the
coaches
field.
are signaling touchdown, so I don't think we have one yet. But
They've signaled touchdown the past 3 plays. So
So, again, not a gambling man, but we'll take our chances on one of these plays resulting in a touchdown. How's that?
Tristan, let me get your best guess on how much time is left in the third quarter.
Well, earlier my clock said there was about 6 minutes left. When I updated everybody, there was about 5 minutes left. So judging by the penalty, I'm going to go out on a limb and say we've got about 4 minutes and 25 seconds remaining.
Okay. You know what they're probably doing? They're probably just not stopping the clock. It's just a running clock.
That's what I would imagine.
That's what they're doing. It's just a running clock. That's
But here's the thing, okay, and I'm kind of catching back up now. But when we thought they initially signaled a touchdown, they did. They took it off the board. They ran 2 more plays, still didn't get in. Then a penalty just happened. So now here we go again, and Bone's going to spin. That time, he did get in the end zone for the Arkansas Kings touchdown. That time, let's give him 6. And that was Terrell LaHersey on the play. And a flag's on the field. I guess they just don't want us to get a touchdown call in tonight.
Hey, there's just dirty laundry all over the field. We got Bulldogs down as well. Hopefully no one's hurt too badly out there.
I think they're trying to keep us scorekeepers at bay.
Well, on the initial play, Bone got in. They took that away. Yep. Then they ran 2 more plays on the goal line. Still didn't get in. Then I believe a holding call was called. Brought them back. LaHersey just ran, got in the end zone, and now there's another flag on the field, and there's 2 players down. And it looks like they're still down. And I thought they were able to get up, but we're going to see if they're going to be able to get up, and it looks like they are. I'm going to wait to see if they're going to give them the touchdown or if they're going to mark it off and redo the down. And while we kind of wait to see what everything's going on, we're going to take a short break. You're watching some semi-pro football on the Natural State Sports Network. And we're back now. And okay, so to catch everybody up, the PA guy initially said touchdown, but the way it looks right now, I believe they may have taken it off the board. So they're gonna snap it, roll out. James is gonna keep it. Jukes away from one, and he's gonna get in, and that's gonna be a touchdown for the Arkansas Kings. Okay, I just heard the PA guy again. The touchdown stood after he just said it was taken off. That was the 2-pointed try. It was good. So it's 16-8.
They got what happened was they scored the touchdown, and then they got a personal foul after the touchdown was scored, which backed them up about 10, 15 yards for the 2-point conversion try. So they had to try that from about the 15-yard line or 10-yard line. I can't remember where they tried it from.
Seems like there's a little bit of a heated discussion on the Kings' sideline.
I think he's just jacked up about the touchdown, Tristan. Oh, maybe not.
Regardless, it is now 16-8.
That is a fact.
Everybody's on the same page now. I apologize for any confusion. No scoreboard has kind of left everybody out on a whim here.
To be honest, Tristan, whatever you say, I'm taking it as law. You're the scoreboard in my book.
Depending on who you said that around, there are probably a lot of people that will argue with you on that one. So the score as it stands right now, again, the Kings 16, Bulldogs 8. I believe there's maybe 4 to 5 minutes left in the third quarter. That's what we're going to say. It's kickoff time.
And again, from the Bulldogs here, you've got to go vertical. You just have to. Working horizontally against this fast defense is not going to work for you. They've got to get dudes downfield quick.
So we're waiting the kickoff now. Again, we saw last drive for the Bulldogs. They were able to get into the end zone. And I believe X is on the field. Bobo Smith is on the field for the Kings wearing the letter X. And the kickoff goes out of bounds. The Kings almost had a chance to recover the kick, but it'll go out of bounds and a flag's going to be thrown.
Did number X go downfield on that one?
No, he did.
No, he did not. He just stood there.
He casually strolled to the sideline. That's what he did.
Okay, well, every army needs a general, isn't that right, Jake?
Yeah, that's correct.
Next time we come out here, I'll have to ask Coach Bowie about the X.
Yeah. I think he's a sponsor for Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. Is that?
You might be right. The Everything app.
He's listed as a receiver, so he's not only a wide receiver, but he's on the World Wide Web. So we first down from the 49-yard line of the Kings. The Bulldogs will have the football. 16-8 is the score. And we have football, ladies and gentlemen. Right inside. That one's going to be stopped before it goes anywhere.
You know,
that was the pile driver, I think.
It was something. The
people's elbow?
That was a crossbody if I've ever seen one.
You know, against my previous point, it's hard to get people downfield when the pocket collapses.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, he has no time back there. Like, as soon as the ball is snapped, he's got maybe a second before he has to step up and get out of the pocket.
So what do you think about screens here, Jake?
I'm not really so sure it could be successful. I'm not sure if they can execute the screen because a screen could turn into a disaster if you don't execute it correctly, and I'm not sold that they can execute it to perfection.
Well, be the end of the third quarter, 16-8 our score. We're going to take a step away. We'll be right back at the start of the fourth quarter right here on the Natural State Sports Network. And we're back here for the start of what I believe is the fourth quarter. We heard the PA guy say in the third, but there's been a lot of confusion here tonight.
It's a quick third, I'll admit.
Quarterback's going to drop back, pressure coming around the left side, and that one's going to be tipped. Almost caught after the tip and the flexion, but it will not. It will hit the turf. Third down coming up for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, again, just no time in the pocket, man. Really the only way to combat that is mobility. You've got to be able to roll out and let your routes develop.
So third down for the Bulldogs, down 16-8. If the quarter did end the way I thought it did just now, we are about 14, maybe 15 minutes away from the game being over. And the Stone Cold theme music is still playing on third down. I love it. What a momentum setter. And a false start penalty is going to be called. Everybody on the field knew it.
You know, that's one way to turn a third and long to a third and forever right there.
Well, somebody say it's about a third in the country mile.
Yeah.
Jake is now back with us.
What exactly is a country mile?
It is a mile that you judge by your heart.
Okay.
That is the best definition I can give you.
I honestly, I like that definition.
I mean, I tell you ever go down a dirt road going to like your grandparents' house or something? Does that pass a throw deep? Oh, and that one's gonna be caught after the pop up. Wow, what a catch! That's caught by number 0 Johnson, and we were making a joke about a country mile, but that one right there, that's how you get it right there.
That is.
Bing, bang, boom, ball bouncing everywhere. Somehow he comes down with a great job by the Bulldogs.
But I tell you, back to what a country mile is. You ever go down a dirt road and you're going to like your aunt or uncle's house or your grandparents' house, you're going somewhere that involves a dirt road and your GPS isn't working quite right, and somebody says, hey, how do you get to this location? You say, oh, you go about, way over yonder on the dirt road. That's about what a country mile is.
It's about as long as it needs to be, isn't that right?
And Hernandez throws an absolute dot over the middle, that time caught by Jonathan Ward for the first down. The Bulldogs are driving down the field. They're down 8.
And that's what you got to do to beat cover 2. You have to split those safeties and get inside. It's a great job by the Bulldogs offense.
Touchdown on this drive will not only tie things up, but it'll kind of put the pressure back on Arkansas. Of course, they were coming into this game undefeated, and as well as this game, they seem prepared for this game in pregame. It all matters when that final whistle is blown. Hernandez fakes the handoff, throws a quick screen. That time doesn't go anywhere. Caught by Aldrich Buchanan.
Well, Jake, I've got to credit you. They tried the screen, couldn't execute it. So
couldn't execute it. It's a, it's a tough one. And to be honest with you, I wish they would have tried a halfback screen instead of the bubble right there.
Not a big bubble screen fan.
Man, it seems like the Kings are playing really tight up on the line of scrimmage, and that just makes the bubble extremely hard to run. So
yeah, with that press, it's almost impossible. You've got to create space somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. A few more shots downfield might back them off, but it doesn't really seem like they're going to back off anytime soon.
Got to have room to work with.
So second down coming after the screen. Hernandez still in at quarterback. 3 receivers out left. He drops back, looks. Throws it to the end zone. That one's going to be overthrown, incomplete. Guarded closely by number 7 on the defense. That's Orlando Robinson, the linebacker.
Yeah, it looked like the wideout kind of stopped there, right?
He did, and I think that was just a miscommunication between the wideout and the quarterback. He was trying to hit him in the corner, and the wideout just stopped about halfway into the end zone.
Yeah.
Second miscommunication we've seen on a pass like that. I mean, earlier it seemed like the receiver just turned around on a quick slant-like route, and he was wanting him to run a more deeper route. But, hey, all communication is that matters. Mm-hmm. So third down after the incompletion. Bulldogs trying to get into the end zone as they're down 8. 3 receivers out right, 1 to the left. Out of the gun. Hernandez drops back, pressure's coming, steps up in the pocket, and he'll get sacked by the Kings.
So, Jake, do you go for it right here?
You have to go for it right here. A field goal's not going to do it for you. I mean, you can't even look on the scoreboard and know what score it is. Go get a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, I mean, the way that the Kings have been driving the ball and just picking up first downs can run out a clock so quickly, and they can't afford to run out the clock. So I agree, they have to go here.
Newman was the King that got the sack, as it's going to be 4th and very long. And once again, the Bulldogs are going to elect to kick the field goal. Earlier on in tonight's game, they kicked the field goal and it was blocked. So we're going to see if the Kings special teams unit can do the same here.
I want to give a quick shout-out to the Kings defensive line. Nothing makes a coach happier than when you can get to the quarterback without calling a blitz. That's the best feeling in the world.
The kick is up, and the kick has the distance. No good. He just pushed it left, so still our score, 16-8. The Kings lead it, and that may be the final gasp of air for the Bulldogs offense if the Kings go on another drive like they did previously.
I think I just saw the kicker checking the wind.
Well, I know that, no discredit to the kicker on the last missed field goal, not this previous one, but the one prior to it, because, I did see the holder kind of fumbling a little bit, which can really get to the head of the kicker.
A mishandling of the snap completely messes up a PAT, field goal, whatever it is. It can mess it up big time.
I mean, it's like driving down the fairway and your ball falls off the tee.
Yeah, for sure.
After the missed field goal, will be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line of the Kings, deep in their own territory, up 8.
Something tells me, okay, they're going to stick with the option.
And what a hit by number 43 of the Bulldogs' defense, Hector Arobia III. He came in, was headhunting for CJ, and just laid him out.
That was a big gain on first down right there for the Kings. They are definitely in a good position on the field, and they can chew up some of this clock if they want to.
And is that running back, is that Rashi Monica at halfback there? I mean, man, I tell you one thing, he's really patient.
He is. No, he is. That's one thing I noted earlier on in the ballgame. He's got that Le'Veon Bell style of just following the big guys and picking your spot.
They're headed off here on the left side on the sweep. He has a burst of speed, but 0 meets 0, and you are my hero as Jamal Mosby gets around the outside and gets brought down by Johnson on the play.
I think what you're starting to see is the Kings have been leaning on the Bulldogs all day with this running game, and just the big guys in those trenches have just been leaning on them, and finally they're getting a lot of push up there, and I think you're seeing a lot of tired legs for the Bulldogs.
So after the big run, a fresh new set of downs as the Kings are in Bulldog territory, up 8 in the final quarter of play.
Yeah, it seems like the Kings are really settling in on offense now, getting good blocks, getting good reads all around.
Hands it off once again, cuts inside. At that time, he'll be met by a host of Bulldogs. There's number 20 on the carry, Jamario Tate.
Guys, that's something new that I'm seeing here. It looks like we've got some back bling on the back pad. When I was playing, I mean, not many of us had that back pad there, but even fewer of us had the ability to customize it.
Yeah. That was definitely not in our equipment room back in the day.
Well, I didn't make it to the high school level like you guys may have, but back in the day when I played O-line, it was, hey, you're a big boy, you don't get no drip.
Yeah.
your one job is to block for your skill guys. But timeout's going to be called on the field, 16-8 still our score. We're going to take a quick break as we let the teams get a breather. You're watching some semi-pro football on Natural State Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back as the snap was fumbled on second down by James Jr., but he was able to recover it, and he didn't get anything there. Lost about 2 on the fumble. This will be 3rd and about 13 on this play here. Just about to hit the 8 o'clock hour here in Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University. Beautiful night for some football. Ooh, and I believe one of the defenders jumped early.
Yep.
That's going to possibly be on number 43, Hector Arobia III.
Is there a flag on the field?
There is. Opposite side of the field.
Okay, I
you know,
can't see it.
it's really tough to time that blitz as a corner.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're, not under gun, or you're under gun,
You're talking about it. I mean, when you're behind and
Yeah.
you're really trying to get back there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But effective if it works.
Pull the old Troy Polamalu.
I don't know how much semi-pro football Troy Polamalu played back in his day, but we got some players here, boys.
I'm gonna guess not a lot.
Well, I'm sure if you see somebody like him lined up over the A gap, you're going to kick the field goal and not make it. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
That one's going to be handoff by the Arkansas Kings. It looked like he just slipped on that one. Didn't get much traction on the turf. Ran by Terrell LaHersey on the play. For those of you that don't understand the reference I just made, Pat McAfee tells the story of one time they were going to run a fake field goal and they saw Troy lined up right over where he was going to jump over the line and possibly end Pat McAfee's career a little about 5 years too early.
Yeah.
Trivia question for the day. Do either of you know where Troy Polamalu went to college?
USC.
Correct.
Very good.
Believe he was roommates with Carson Palmer.
I think you're right.
There's your 2 points for trivia there.
I think I've heard that before, but yeah, I had to pull it out of the back of my brain on that one.
Here's one for you. What year of Madden was he on the cover of?
That was 2000
5?
No,
Incorrect.
No, it was 2010.
So there's a flag on the field. There you go. Who did he share the cover with?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yep, you got it.
You know, my mom said I wasn't good for nothing.
I believe we may be seeing the first punt here from the Arkansas Kings of tonight's game. Let's play here.
Let's give the Bulldogs a chance. They can drive it downfield.
Oh, I'm not saying they can't.
Oh no, I'm just saying I love the punt call here. Give them a chance to.
Great punt.
Well, yeah, what a punt.
That was incredible.
Speaking of punts, and I'll say this and I'll let you guys talk about it. One thing I have not seen in the game of football anymore is a good, crisp coffin corner.
No, I mean, nowadays I feel like the punter's legs are so strong they can just boot it so high up in the air that they can just the coverage just gets back there in time, so they don't even have to have the accuracy to coffin corner it.
Well, and not only that, but also you want to give them a chance to drop it.
Yeah, that is true.
And also, when you coffin corner it, you're leaving it up to the official to make the call on where it went out of bounds or if it went into the end zone.
Correct.
And me personally, I don't think I want to leave that up to the official.
Not anything left up for chance. I got you.
If you've got Deion Sanders back there, then I'm sure we'd see some coffin corners, but not a lot of guys like him out there these days.
So first down, deep in their own territory, is the Bulldogs. New man in at quarterback. Tell you who he is in just a second, as he's going to slip up and not go anywhere in that one. In the game at quarterback will be number 0, Johnson, who we saw earlier get the 2-point conversion on the left end of the end zone where they were on the opposite end trying to get into the end zone from this position here.
It looks like Hernandez is getting back in there at quarterback.
Just a little 2-quarterback system. Love to see it.
There's an old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
I tell you what, I do not like that saying.
You don't?
I do not, because I have seen teams have 2 quarterbacks and run it so efficiently. They are at least an 9-win team.
I haven't seen anybody do it at a high level of play.
He's going to be wrapped up and just swallowed up by a group of Kings there. Johnson. Well, and here's something going back to the conversation, and I'm not going to get too analyst here, but, when you have a 2-quarterback system, at least from my standpoint, I think personally it opens up your offense to run more formations than just your traditional I form, shotgun, and pistol. You can run more wishbone and stuff like that.
You can, however, on the defensive side, it can sometimes tip off what you're trying to do. I will say. So I've seen it effective, but I've seen a lot more effective single quarterback teams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
But if it's done right,
Well,
it's very effective.
let me hear the effective teams that have done it. The 2 quarterback system.
How much time you got?
That's what I'm saying.
I was going to be thrown, going to be caught for the moment. He's going to run up, and he's going to be forced out of bounds. I believe that was caught by number 14, Nathan Pointer.
Who was the quarterback that backed up Tyler Wilson?
That's what I was just trying to think of.
I used to do that. I used to do that when I was playing NCAA back in the day when I was younger. That's what I used to do. I used to pull him out of the depth chart and do just like an option with him all the time. I can't remember what his name was though.
No, he's quick.
So 4th down here, they're going to go for it deep in their own territory. Hernandez, the low man in the backfield, shotgun form.
This is the biggest play of the night right here.
Drop back, throws a deep pass, double covered, and it's going to be incomplete. Almost intercepted there by number 7 on the defense, Orlando Robinson, who's had a day himself. So turnover on downs. The Kings will be in the red zone. And, man, what a turn of events that would have been for this game had he caught that ball.
I mean, I think it was smart for him to not catch the ball, but there's a reason he plays defense.
So after the turnover on downs, it'll be 1st down for the Kings deep in Bulldog territory. They're up 8. The 4th quarter, I don't know what point we are in the 4th quarter. I'm going to say we've got 5 minutes left because that's what it feels like personally. But nonetheless, it's been an exciting game.
I think we got under 5 minutes left.
We could. We very well could. Pitches it off. Tries to break away from one. He'll just have to hold the ball. He broke away for the moment, but he'll get wrapped up by a family of Bulldogs. It was, I believe, number 5 on the carry, Rashid Monica.
And James is taking off his pads over there on the sideline, so I think he thinks the game's over.
And I do see number X subbing in right now.
X marks the spot.
It does. I don't think it has this thus far in the game, but maybe he can find one in the end zone.
So 2nd down now, close to the end zone, and I want to go back to what you asked us earlier about teams who were successful with 2 quarterbacks in a system. And according to some examples I just found on Google, is going to break away, but he'll get tripped up by the shoelaces. That's number 0 on the carry, Jamal Mosby. According to this, 2 quarterback systems where teams were successful were the 2018 Baltimore Ravens, the 2021 New Orleans Saints, and several college football teams like Northwestern in 2012, LSU in 2011, and Florida in 2006.
The Ravens, what year?
In 2018, so that would have probably been when they had Robert Griffin III.
No. They still had Flacco on the team.
Okay.
They still had Flacco on the team, and they had Lamar. I'm guessing,
Okay.
but like that, but the answers that you just gave me are all examples of a quarterback getting hurt and then another quarterback coming in. That's not a scheme built around 2 quarterbacks.
Well, hey,
like
I didn't
putting
say
it
it was a scheme. I just quick looked it up for your answer.
Hey, you know that. Hey, this goes for everybody out there listening right now. Don't listen to the AI Google. It'll steer you wrong, just like it did my boy Tristan over here. Don't listen to it.
Well, I'm trying to think because I personally I am a Saints fan, and I'm trying to think What?
It was what's his name? The guy who plays tight end.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it was Taysom Hill. That's what they're talking about.
Okay.
They're talking about
Yeah.
Taysom Hill and Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Or wait, what year was that?
I didn't close it out now. I think it said 21, so that would have been.
I think Drew Brees was still there, right?
No, Brees retired in 2020 because the Saints lost to the Buccaneers in the divisional round, and that was Brees' last game because Brady went on to win the Super Bowl that season in Tampa Bay.
Okay, so then it was whatever quarterback was playing there in Taysom Hill.
So it was probably
Teddy Bridgewater?
yeah,
Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, Teddy
That's who it
Bridgewater.
was. That's who it was.
What
Yeah,
a pull!
Yeah, that's a great pull.
I couldn't remember if it was him or Winston.
Is he still in the league?
Bridgewater.
Yeah.
He came back to the Lions last season, but I don't know if he's still on the roster or not.
I didn't even know he was on the Lions.
Well, no, because here's the thing. He went to coach at his high school, and we're way off topic here, but he went to coach at his old high school and won a state championship. Then the Lions called him in the postseason and said, hey, can you come be on our roster for whatever reason? Said yes, and then he, I guess, left again. I don't know. I'd have to get back to you on that one.
So we've got 4th and what, 5?
Yes, 4th and 5. Kings are still on offense, still trying to get the ball into the end zone.
Looks like a. Is that a?
I was trying to listen into the PA there, but I missed him by just a half second. But regardless, they're going to still allow them to go for it on 4th down.
I thought they were backing him up. I thought it was a delay game. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, okay.
They're hand it off around the right side. Flag comes out. He's still on his feet, and he's going to get in for a touchdown at the moment, but I believe it's going to be thrown in the area of holding. So we're going to see what the white hat official says before we justify if it was a score or not. As it stands, it's a touchdown. So holding on the Kings, touchdown will be wiped off the board, and they'll back them up again for a replay of the down. So instead of being about 4th and manageable, it's going to be 4th and long.
Is it just me, or have 90% of these penalties happened in the red zone this game?
Yeah,
I would probably agree with that.
You know, which I get. Not a lot of space. Accidents happen. It's kind of the trenches, if you will.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the drive, you kind of get tired, make mistakes.
The officials are more observant.
Down, they're going to throw a prayer, and it's going to be incomplete. Look for the flag, and I don't think a lot of the people were set there. A lot of people weren't set. They were kind of confused on why the ball was snapped. But regardless, it'll be turnover on downs, and the Bulldogs will get the football. Still in their own territory, but not as backed up as they were previously on their last drive. So still our score 16-8.
Did Teddy Bridgewater play at Louisville?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Played at Louisville. He was a starter in Minnesota before he came to New Orleans. Had a stint in Detroit. He was a pretty good quarterback during this time. But nonetheless, it's 1st down for the Bulldogs.
Did Petrino coach him?
That one I do not know. I don't think so.
I think he did. I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
He'd have to look that one up. Hernandez throws a deep ball, laying it out there, and that one's going to be incomplete. Try to get the ball once again on the tip drill. It'll fall to the turf, so 2nd down coming up for the Bulldogs. We await the official answer on the who is Teddy Bridgewater's coach answer.
I'm pretty sure it was Petrino because Bridgewater was before Lamar.
Charlie Strong.
Huh.
Prior to his Texas days, I'm assuming.
No, that would have been after.
2013?
Charlie Strong was the coach of Texas in 2014, and he got fired in like 15 or 16.
Hernandez rolls out of the pocket. He's going to be hit hard.
Light him up. Light him up. Light him up.
Good sportsmanship helping the player up, and looks like Hernandez in the backfield is down still. Didn't see what happened.
It looks like Charlie Strong had quite a bit of success at Louisville, which led to his employment at Texas.
What? That just makes me feel old now because I didn't realize Teddy Bridgewater was that old. I thought he was young. I thought he was younger than I was. No, damn.
Third down now for the Bulldogs. And we're going to see what they can do here on third down.
They've struggled to move the ball really the entire second half. They had a good drive there towards the end of the first half, but had a tough go at producing.
Seemed like they've kind of stalled out, so to speak. But regardless of that, they have 3 receivers left, 1 right, 1 running back in the backfield, drops back, looks. New quarterback's in the game. He throws it deep. That one going to be incomplete. The referee signaled incomplete, and that's number 6, Ethan Parrish, in the game at quarterback. I believe the defensive back who dove for the ball may have got the wind knocked out of him because he's still on the field. And we're going to take a break in the action for the injured player. We'll be right back. You're watching Kings versus Bulldogs on the Natural State Sports Network. And we're back now. 4th down coming up for the Bulldogs. And the injured player was helped off the field. He's on the medical table at the moment. We're going to wait to see if he's able to get up on his own power and kind of move around and operate. But Hernandez throws it off his back foot, finds the running back in the flat. He's still on his feet. He'll have enough for the first for the moment. We're going to see where the referee spots him. But I believe a flag maybe in the backfield or Hernandez was on the field.
Yeah, he got hammered right there after throwing that ball.
So it'll be enough for a Bulldogs first down as they're going to move the chain gain up. We're still kind of keeping an eye down there on the injured player from the Kings to make sure he is okay. We'll give you an update when we can. I'll remind everybody that we were watching Kings versus Bulldogs here on the Natural State Sports Network. Excited to finish out this game with you.
Still 16-8.
Nobody has scored since last time I said it, so we're going to hope it is.
Wait, we got another guy that's injured over here. Look at him.
Hopefully just cramping up as the weather starts to get warm, as that one's going to be a beautiful pass to his receiver. That's going to be number 15, William Goin, on the possession.
Looks like he tried to get the ball out there, stop the clock, but ref's running it.
Well, I think it's NFL rules, and in the NFL, you have to be shoved out of bounds. You can't run out of bounds. You have to be shoved out of bounds for the clock to stop.
I see. Either way, it was a reach. No pun intended. So.
There you go. There's your sound effect.
Do we have one of those on the box, Jake?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to talk to Will about that.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out Will and Steve and Hot Springs doing the thing with the arena football coverage. How about that?
Yeah, how about it? The Wise Guys.
Yeah, the Hot Springs Wise Guys.
Hot Springs Wise Guys. A lot of spring football going on here in the state of Arkansas tonight.
Well, speaking of spring football, tomorrow the Memphis Showboats play their final regular season contest.
The Showboats. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Hey, dude, it's a fun experience. You got to come down and catch a game next season.
I'm going to have to, just because of the name.
So here we go, second down. Man is going to drop back, pump fakes once. It's confusing what everybody is, and he just throws it to the coach out of bounds for the Kings and thought he was going to take off and run it for a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to roll out in some flood coverage there, but it kind of just collapsed on him and really didn't have anywhere to go with that one.
It's third down coming up here for the Bulldogs, and they're trying to get their fans on their feet. Remind everybody that we're here at Crafton Faulkner Field on the campus of Hendrix University, home of the Warriors, for some semi-pro football.
And I really think it comes down to this down right here for the Bulldogs. They've got to convert right here if they want to stay in this game.
Well, it's still an 8-point ball game, so you get the.
It's also this is two down. This is two downs. It's third down.
You're right.
So I mean, they're going to go for it again if they don't get it right.
You're not wrong. With a 3 front on the defense.
And this throws a deep ball, deepest pass we've seen all night, and that one's going to be intercepted, almost like a punt return.
Whoa! Oh my goodness! Come on.
PI. Are we going to get a PI?
So if this is NFL rules, the spot's going to be right there at that flag.
Plus 15, right?
No, it's a spot foul. It's a spot foul.
So Robinson got the interception. The referees threw a flag. The play, I'm assuming, was called dead. And that's what the call is going to be, is defensive pass interference. Looks to be on possibly number 6, Bernard Lowry.
Yep. Looks like it might have been offensive pass interference. The Kings declined the penalty, took the interception.
Okay.
Yep. I didn't really see the offensive pass interference either, but
He kind of pushed off, but it wasn't too blatant.
Well, hold on now.
Oh, well.
I think they may have either they offset or they called an extra flag on the Kings because Kansas City still has the ball, and they have it right where the pass interference took place.
What's up? I know it's a spot foul. We're talking about what was the call. Was it?
It looked like
So our analyst just came in here and told us it was pass interference on Arkansas. I say our analyst, our rules guy, I guess is the correct terminology to use for him. So after the penalty, it'll be first down, fresh new set of downs for Kansas City. Down 8 in the fourth quarter. We'll see what they can do here.
Was that the call from Gene there?
Hernandez is going to roll out.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Ball's going to go out, but it'll go out of bounds. And Courtney Simmons is beside himself that he did not get on the ball in time.
The old loaf of bread carry.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't think it was just me. It looked like when he signaled for that foul, it looked like one of the teams declined it. Or was he saying that they were offsetting fouls?
see, I initially thought they were offsetting, which would have meant it would have been Arkansas ball because of the interception.
Sure.
But the way they moved it up, so I don't know if it was just I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but regardless, it was a pass interference on one of the teams, and Kansas City got the ball deep into the territory on the spot of the foul. So we're going to say for the moment, unless somebody corrects us in the next 20 seconds, it was pass interference on Arkansas.
I'll take it. What was that, Jake?
I'm wondering how much time is left on the clock because it feels like it's been like 20 minutes for them coming down the field. Just in my opinion.
Hernandez is going to drop back, looks, throws a dart, and that one's going to be incomplete just behind their intended receiver. So third down coming up for the Bulldogs. And to answer your question about the clock, Jake, I cannot give you a definite time, but I have a feeling we're going to play until the referees blow their whistles.
Well, it's like the last minute of any game. That last minute is about a country mile, isn't it, Tristan?
Most definitely, partner.
Now that I think about it, I think if there was if nobody had any idea how much time was on the clock, that would make the game of football a lot more exciting. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like just nobody knew how much time is left.
It's kept me on my toes, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, me too.
You couldn't do that back in the days of cable television because of scheduling. But regardless of that, it's third down for the Bulldogs. Down 8. Hernandez going to drop back. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket. Throws a deep ball in the double coverage. And that one's going to be intercepted by the Arkansas Kings.
Wow, what a play.
What a way to end the game. If that's the final play of the game, that is, because we don't know how much time's left, but that was intercepted by Anthony Hatton.
Yeah, and what a catch that was. Kind of caught it on the backside there. That was beautiful.
Somebody get him his crown because he just became the DB of the night. And I believe they're saying it was an incomplete pass.
It looked like he got both feet into me, Tristan. I don't know, man.
So listen. We had one official in the end zone saying catch, and then we had another official that was all the way on the other side of the field saying no good, and they're gonna go.
Okay,
ahead and
we have three eyes here.
Three
sets of eyes.
It was a catch.
And we're on our side of
that was an interception.
Yeah,
it was a
looked
catch.
good to me.
I'm not trying to have a bias towards Arkansas or anything, but that was an interception.
He had 2 feet. He had 2 feet inbounds too.
He did. And you could see how frustrated he was when he took his helmet off after that one.
Hernandez going to roll out, pressure coming, and he just throws it away on fourth down. So turnover on downs. Arkansas is going to get the ball. And a flag's going to come out.
Roughing the passer? Oh wait, no, intentional grounding. Intentional grounding. I was about to say. I was about to say.
I was wondering. It didn't look like he got outside the tackles, but your guess is as good as mine. There we go. Good game, guys.
And that's going to be the end of the game. Our final score, 16-8. Arkansas will continue their undefeated streak. Guys, I got to ask for some final remarks.
Well, let me just say something. Are we sure this wasn't played with soccer rules? Because isn't that what they do with extra time in soccer? They just let, even if it goes past, they just let them finish. Like if they're driving towards the goal, I'm pretty sure they just keep playing.
I don't know.
with extra time.
I will say, the Kings did incredible on the defensive side of the ball. It seemed like they had complete control of the line of scrimmage the whole game.
Hey, the biggest point of the game, special teams.
Yep.
Defensive side of the ball for the Kings.
Check.
Just outstanding plays. When you make big plays like that, you're going to win ball games.
Yep.
When you win the turnover battle, for sure.
100%. Yeah, that and mobility is what got him the dub today, guys.
Right.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir. Well, our final score, we're going to remind everybody, our final score, Arkansas Kings 16, Kansas City Bulldogs 8. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Natural State Sports Network. Remember to tune in for the rest of the season and all of our other sports content.